Hola, clase. ¿Cómo están? Yo estoy muy bien. Today we're going to continue to talk about the past tense. We're going to talk about the preterite tense of stem-changing verbs. There's not too many of them, and there's just a couple of tricks that makes them different from stem-changing verbs in the present tense. Are you ready? Vámonos! In this video, we'll compare a little bit how the stem-changing verbs are different in the present tense and in the preterite tense. To do that, we need to look at which group of infinitives have stem changes in the preterite tense. Hint, it's not all of them. Where the changes happen in the preterite tense. Hint, not the same places in the present. And what those changes are. Guess what? Again, they're not the same things that we saw in the present. So, let's start with the present and we'll review. So let's take a look at a nice present tense stem-changing verb like maybe dormir. It's a stem-changing verb because it has a change in the stem. Remember that the stem part is what's left over after you get rid of the infinitive marker, the AR, ER, or IR. That's the part of the verb that contains sort of the vocabulary part, called the lexeme for grammar heads. It also has, in this case, the stem changes. And you probably remember what dormir looks like in the present tense. Take a second to think. Do you remember? Here it is. The back part behaves just like a regular old IR verb, but the stem change happens in the first part of the word. Duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, dormis, duermen. Sometimes these are called shoe verbs or boot verbs because the places where the changes happen, if you highlight them, this is supposed to look like a shoe or a boot for someone with a very large rectangular kind of a foot. So that's the present. It should look familiar to us. Now let's take a look at the preterite stem changer verbs. First of all, which group of verbs has stem changes in the preterite tense? The present was AR, ERs, and IRs. But if you look here, you'll get a clue that only the IRs change in the preterite tense. Second, what kinds of stem changes can happen? We had UEs and IEs in the present tense, but that's not true for the preterite. In the preterite, there's only two kinds of changes that can happen. IR verbs that used to be stem changers in the present and are now stem changers in the preterite and have an E in them. The E changes to I. And the ones that had an O, there's no more UE stuff going on. The O changes to U. We have one more change to look at, and that is where. Where do those changes happen? It's not a shoe or a boot anymore. Dormí, dormiste, dormimos, dormistes. No stem change. The stem change happens down here for the él, ella, usted form and the ellos, ellas, ustedes form. Durmió, durmieron. So I guess we could call these instead, maybe, if we color the space in where the stem changes happen, maybe we could call these flip-flop verbs or sandal verbs. It's not shaped like a shoe or a boot anymore. Let's take a moment to review what we've learned in this video, and we'll do a lot more practice in class. First of all, we've learned that only IR verbs can have stem changes in the preterite, and those verbs also are stem changes in the present. We know that we don't have any more IE or UE to look at. Stem changing verbs in the preterite that have an O change to a U. Those that have an E change to an I. And we also know that the place where the stem changing happens is not shaped or like a shoe or a boot anymore. It's shaped like a sandal or a flip-flop. It's just the third person singular, third person plural where we see these changes happen. Bueno, clase, es todo por hoy. Adiós. Hasta la próxima.